Well, there's a lot of things on the agenda for today. Some news, an anniversary, some plant updates. So join me with a tasty beverage of your choice close to hand while we take a look at 6-month Hoya updates. And before anything else this week, a very special thank you to you folks. My very first video on this side of the camera went live on March 8th, 2024. It's been such a fun year. I've enjoyed doing this so very much, and that's all because of you folks. Your subscriptions, your likes, your comments every week make doing this even more of a pleasure than I thought it was going to be. So 1 year in, I just passed 2,400 subscribers, and you folks, it's all thanks to you. And another little thank you to all the people that took the time to respond to last week's question. It's always fun to see what people have on their wish list, and you turned the tables on me because I was forced to add a few more things to my wish list based upon things that you guys were looking for. So thanks, I think. Yeah, that was cool. Thank you. And some people are interested. So seeds update. One of the Maniparensis seeds just started putting out its second set of leaves. So that's very cool. That's usually a really big step for plants. And let's see if I can get this out without spilling it. Come on, there we go. More of the lithops have started sprouting as well. Thanks for the suggestions on sowing these and the setup. Yeah, that probably would have been a really good idea. These are very cool. We're going to keep you posted on these because this is my new little obsession. But yeah, so the kids are doing well. And some of you may remember in my problem shelf video part 2, I talked about my Hoya sulawesiana and that it had peduncles. And in that time, let's see if I can do this, it bloomed. I don't know if I'm going to be able to get that to focus for me, but I've got some stills that I'll put on the side. There are 5 blossoms open. This is a dripper. So that's how it is, you know. You do what you can, you take what you get. They are funky little blossoms. It's like they've got little fuzzy hats on, sort of. But yeah, this is very cool. It's the first time this has bloomed for me, and I'm psyched. So yeah, Hoya sulawesiana. And the first one up today is my Hoya boycei. Now, it's kind of a tiny little thing. Will it focus for me? Here we go. Yeah. The little bits of white you see on there is sulfur because it's small cutting. I wasn't going to take any chances with it. Now, Hoya boycei, or boycei, is native to Brunei, the Belait district, Bukit Batu Patam, and it was collected at a height of about 70 meters. So warmer growing Hoya, I would think. I was first collected in 1989 and published in 2022 in Gardens Bulletin by Michaela Rhoda and Sri Rahayu. And this came as a tiny, tiny little cutting. And it has not done much. And I have had it in the magic cookie jar. So I think it's time, and the magic cookie jar's been nice, and I've been checking it, of course, but it's been nice and warm in there. So maybe it's time for it to start moving to the real world. I don't see any roots yet. I did repot it. It was in a very shallow, small cup, and it had rooted in there, so I moved it up to this one. It's supposed to have very small little round leaves, about as big as the end of my little finger, which is like centimeter and a half, maybe 3/8 of an inch, something like that. Yeah, this it's hanging in there. It's giving it a good try. I think I'm going to move it out of the magic cookie jar so it gets a little bit more light. And I'm going to put it in a cup with a clear plastic cup over that to make a little mini greenhouse and see if that encourages it to do something more. One leaf and an aerial root is not cutting it, so I have great expectations. Anyway, this is Hoya boycei, and this came from Planting with Wine on Etsy. Next we have my Hoya species, Chang Island IML 1508. Now, this is, as the name would suggest, native to Chang Island in Thailand, and the IML tells us that it was first recorded by David and Iris Marie Little. IML is Iris Marie Little, and she's the one that kept the records. But they were intrepid explorers, growers, sellers in Australia, and, with their accession number is 1508, they found a lot of plants. It was suggested to me that this could be a verticillata, and I can kind of see that. There we go. The leaves are coming in gorgeous. Plant had a rough start. There was some damage to the early leaves, but since then, it's looking really nice. I just showed you it, but that's really pretty. That's more than I had expected. So yeah, this is very cool. It may be, I don't know if I mentioned it may be a verticillata. Someone suggested that when I showed it when it first arrived. And I should have a picture of it when it first arrived or something going on here somewhere. So yeah, this has done well. The new stuff that it has put out has been all healthy and looking gorgeous. So I'm pleased with this purchase. This one came from Gardino Nursery, and this is Hoya species Chang Island IML 1508. Next up is my Hoya carrii NS13064. Now, Hoya carrii is native to Papua New Guinea, the Oro province, and was collected at a height of 4,500 feet. So it might be a slightly cooler growing Hoya, but that's a relative kind of thing. It was collected in 1935, 1936 by C.E. Carr. First published in 2017 in Gardens Bulletin by Paul Irwin Forrest and David J. Little. But my understanding is that that publication did not meet the requirements to be an official publication, so it was later republished by Nathaniel Simonson and Michaela Rhoda. And the plant is, after all, named after C.E. Carr, who lived from 1892 to 1936. And he first collected this in 1935 and then again in 1936 on an expedition supported by the British Museum. This is a very, very pretty little plant, if it will decide to focus. It's just very beautiful, simple leaves. If it didn't focus, pictures. This is my second one. The first one, well, of course it's operator error, but it struggled from the beginning and was never terribly happy. This one, however, has been happy and, well, it starts down here and it grew up this distance while my back was turned. Otherwise, I would have wrapped it a little more securely, but it got up there and I was not about to try and untangle it and retrellis it. So I'm just gonna let it do its thing. There's new growth on the top. Those leaves are just so pretty. I would love, it keeps trying to find my face, so. They're just beautiful. They're dark, dark green. So I've got it in a slightly, it lives down here on the floor, sort of in the space between, there's a grow shelf over here and this grow shelf. And I opted for that because it's got slightly darker green leaves, so it may prefer slightly lower light. And that's working so far for me. Yeah, this one has done very well. I'm very pleased with it. It's a plant I wanted for a very long time, and I'm glad I have it, and it's doing okay. Yeah, doing better than it got away from me. You ever had one of those days where you've looked at all your plants and you come back like 2 days later and suddenly one of them has wrapped around a pole and grown? Yeah, I had that earlier today with a couple of kids back here. It was like, wait, where did you? Anyway, this one came from Hoya Treasures on Etsy, and this is Hoya carrii NS13064. Our next update deals with Hoya ruthiae UT168. And I saw this on someone else's channel, might have been Miro's, it usually is, and just thought it was kind of neat. Now, Hoya ruthiae is native to Malaysia, to the island of Borneo, to Sabah, the Lahud Datu district, even Bukit Baturong, which is Baturong Hill. It was first collected in 2000 and published in 2015 in Phyto Keys by Michaela Rhoda. The leaves are fairly interesting. Nice enough. A little bit of splash. The older leaves have this really pretty dark green color, which I like. So, and the blossoms are supposed to be really nice. And I didn't have anything like this, so I picked this up. It came, I was originally going to transfer it to pond. I even had the self-watering pot for it. And when I took it out of the pot, it came in and started to try and get it to release. It has a very fine root structure, and I went like, no, that's not a good idea. So I transferred it into my usual This is cocoa husk chunks and pumice and fine bark and sphagnum. There might even be some tree fern fiber in there if I had any at the time. And it's been doing well. No roots coming out the bottom yet. Well, no, I spoke too soon. Yeah, there are a few. So it's found the wick, which is probably responsible for some of this new growth that's showing up. Yeah. So I'm pleased. It weathered its transition, it travels its transition and settling into this new atmosphere for it. So yeah, we're gonna, it needs another, well, oops, I'll do that right now because this one I shouldn't be able to mess this up too much. However, it is me and anything is possible. So yeah, that's better. Okay. Yeah, so I'm looking forward to this growing and blooming, and there's a new vine starting in there. That's very good. All good signs. I'm happy with it. Because the leaves that are established are a little bit darker, it too lives down here in the fallout from this shelf behind me. And it seems okay with that for right now. If that changes, I'll let you know. But I'm happy with this. This was a good plant when it showed up. I wasn't disappointed with what I got. So yeah, this is really cool. This is Hoya ruthiae UT168, and this came from Gardino Nursery. And the next Hoya up is Hoya macgillivrayi. Now, Hoya macgillivrayi is native to Australia, to Queensland, northern Queensland on the eastern coast of that peninsula. And I apologize to my Aussie friends for not knowing more about your geography, but little by little, I'm getting there. I wanted this plant for two reasons. First one is I have Hoya kaimuki, and macgillivrayi is one of the parent plants to Hoya kaimuki. And if you saw them side by side, you would understand, you could see the parentage. Matter of fact, hold on. Where is macgillivrayi? There, oh, there's kaimuki. Okay. So here's kaimuki and macgillivrayi side by side. I'm kind of using kaimuki to block my face, so it will focus. But yeah, I can see, let me put this someplace safe. And there you saw sulfur on that one, because again, I don't take prisoners anymore. I don't have time for that. But this is the one that produces those big purple goth blossoms. So because kaimuki was doing so well, although kaimuki hasn't bloomed yet, but it's been growing really well. So maybe it just needs a little bit, and it's putting out a bunch of new growth. Ooh, that needs to be trellised. Okay. If only they would grow on the wires the way they're supposed to. Anyway, that's why I wanted to try this one. It just looked like a fun plant, and it seems to grow pretty well. I've had to rescue this one. You can see some corkscrewing on the vines. I've had to rescue it a couple times from, it found something, and it just took off like a shot. That's one of the fun things about Hoyas. If they find something to grab onto, whether or not it's something they're supposed to grab onto, that's a whole different issue, but they'll take off. So if you look one day and see, well, that vine's getting awfully close to the corner of that shelf, take care of it then, because once it finds the corner of that shelf, it's like a rocket. Not an Elon Musk rocket, but you know. a real rocket that does well and flies. So yeah, very pretty plant. Really nice growth. Been a robust grower so far. So yeah, I'm psyched about this. This one came also from Gabriella Plants, and this is Hoya macgillivrayi. And the next little buddy up is this Hoya pyrifolia. Now, Hoya pyrifolia is native to Yunnan, China, to Yingjian Xian. I'm sorry if I butchered that too much. And it was found at an altitude of 1,865 meters. It was first collected in 2019 and published in 2021 in Phytokeys by Feng Huang. And I'll apologize to him in advance in case, or her, in case I butchered that name. This is really cute little plant. Tiny little leaves. And the leaves are what are described as being pyrifolic. So the note I have is Hoya pyrifolia is named for its piriform leaf. And I didn't know what that meant either, which is a significant feature that can be used to distinguish it from this species from its close relatives. So I had to go and look up what pirifolia means. I was thinking pyro, fire-shaped, flame-shaped leaf. Nah, it means pear-shaped. It's named after me. This has been kind of cute. I don't know how much bigger the leaves are going to get, probably a bit. This started off as an unrooted cutting. And let me try and hold it up there again. It's been in the magic cookie jar for about 6 months. So it's left the cookie jar this week. I haven't seen any signs of rootage yet. But that's okay. It was growing in a very, very small cup for a while, and I did see roots on that. And when I did, then I moved it to this larger kind of self-watering deal. So yeah, this could be really, really pretty. This was part of that whole spate of tiny leafed Hoyas that I was in for a while because they're going to take up less room, right? That hasn't worked out. I have my tiny little leaf anyway, and it's a huge plant. So, but this is doing really well. This one came from Planting with Wine on Etsy, and this is Hoya pyrifolia. Next up, another little tiny one. This is Hoya Peltata. Now, Hoya Peltata is native to Indonesia, the island of Borneo, the province of Kalimantan, North Kalimantan in particular, from Nunukan. And it was first collected in 1953 and was published in 2022 in Gardens Bulletin by Michaela Rhoda and Sri Rahayu. And this one is very neat. See there's a little bit of growth there. And there's a little bit of growth up there on the tip, which is fine. Very cool. I like the leaves. And I have a note on this one too. It says the epithet peltata refers to the leaves which have a characteristic peltate base, which of course told me nothing. So I looked up peltate. And what that means is that the petioles attach to the underside of the leaf rather than the end of the leaf. This is really helpful, isn't it? Yeah, so petioles come in from the underside. Okay, I can kind of see that. I'd like to see a lot more of it. This one also came as an unrooted cutting, so it spent a few weeks actually a couple months, in very shallow cup of pond. And when I noticed that it had rooted, I moved it to a slightly larger cup, more self-watering, and it's, nothing yet. I mean, there's some stuff in there I could delude myself was a root, but it probably isn't, so. But it just came out of the cookie jar this week with boycei and pyrifolia. So we're going to see how they do. It's over here with my grouping of tiny leafed Hoyas. And yeah, I'm kind of excited about this. This could be really cool. So yeah, if I can keep on top of it and make it work, we'll see what happens. This also came from Planting with Wine on Etsy, and this is Hoya Peltata. And a very special dziękujemy za wsparcie to Beata, who sent me a super thanks. Your support for my channel goes a long way to keeping me in Hoyas and tech and is very, very much appreciated. So thank you for your support. Another special thank you again out to you guys. This has been just a great year, so much fun. Hitting 2,400 subscribers is very special, very great. And having all of you tune in each week has made coming around to this side of the camera worth absolutely every bit of my own trepidation. So here's to you guys. Thank you. And I'm going to put a link up here to that first cringeworthy video. I can't make myself go watch it because I don't want to, but it might be entertaining for y'all. So thank you again. So the question for this week isn't really a question. I'm going to try an experiment, and I could either go really well or it could crash and burn. So we'll see. You're perfectly welcome to leave all your regular comments. I do look forward to reading those and trying to respond to all of them. But in a separate post, if you'd like, let's do a want got. So, 3-line post. On the first line, tell us what geographic region you're in. For example, the US, Canada, the EU, Australia, New Zealand. On the next line, tell us what you're looking for, a specific plant. Like I could say, I'm looking for pseudonomen silver. Hoya pseudonomen silver. And what you've got to trade for it. So it's what you're looking for and what you've got to trade for it. Now, only one plant per posting. So you can't say, I'm looking for any lacunosa. No. Specific lacunosa. No prices. This is trades. Okay? So any post that lists the price will be deleted. Any post that requests more than one plant will be deleted. Any post that says something like any kind of caudata, I'll delete that as well. Now, this is just a chance for you all to trade plants. I'm not going to get involved. I'm not going to be the arbiter or the judge, any of that kind of stuff. I just thought this could be kind of fun since There's people, like I've got a bunch of people who watch from Australia, and I've got a bunch of people who watch from New Zealand, and I've got a bunch of people who watch from the EU, and they might be able to trade plants with each other. So I'm not going to be involved. Y'all figure it all out. Be fair and be nice. Okay? Don't send somebody a cutting that you wouldn't want to receive or that you would be disappointed if you received. So let's give it a try. If it works, I'll probably try it again in a couple months. If it doesn't work out and people don't have good experiences, then we'll never try this again. So yeah, that's what we're going to try this week. And as always, I'd like to thank you for choosing to spend a little bit of your time with me this week's end. Please remember to click the thumbs up, like button, the subscribe button, and the notification bell. They're all really important, and it's your way of helping my channel grow some more. Some of the products that you've seen me use are available in my Amazon storefront, and there's a link in the description below. I get a small commission on the sales, but it doesn't affect your price at all. If you'd like to support the channel, there's a link in the description to my Buy Me a Coffee page, or you can click on the thanks button down here. YouTube handles all the thanks button stuff. Links to a couple videos over here, and enjoy the rest of your week's end.